Top 12 richest countries in the world. When you look at big figures being released by the countries as their annual budgets, you may have a hard time determining those to be considered the richest countries in the world. Yes, many Western nations are wealthy, but they are not to be considered the wealthiest countries in the world. Why? The yardstick used and individual biases go a very long way in influencing the ranking. A good way to illustrate that is any comparison of rich countries by different reputable authorities. Each year, the Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, gives a ranking that is different from the World Bank's rating. Yet the ranking by the International Monetary Fund, IMF, disagrees with the two. The latter seems to have more reliable data based on the access it has to more information. In any case, it has been established that different sources look at different factors. Just taking a look at the gross domestic product's GDP figures compiled here will give you another idea. However, even the rich countries with huge GDP figures may not actually be the richest when you look at the purchasing power parity, PPP, or GDP per capita. For that reason, after thorough and painstaking research, we come up with a list of the actual rich nations based on unbiased consideration and from reliable sources. Here are the top 12 richest countries in the world. Number 12, Denmark. The quality government that focuses on liberal policy has been giving the citizens of Denmark a quality life and guaranteeing them a high living standard. The richest country realizes 50% of its income through export. GDP per capita, $57,781. Number 11, Hong Kong. Having a similar history with Macau, the former colony of Great Britain, which is now a special administrative region of China, is now an independent country. However, it's also financially independent to the extent that it's now among the richest countries in the world. It opens its borders to foreigners, and this contributes in no small measure to the total GDP and GDP per capita. GDP per capita, $58,165. Number 10, United Arab Emirates. The United Arab Emirates, UAE, is a country of a federation of 7 Arab Emirates located on the Eastern Arabian Peninsula. It is another Middle Eastern state, thus oil is the mainstay of the Emirates economy. GDP per capita, $58,466. Number 9, Macau. Macau is an autonomous special region, not an independent country, on the south coast of China. The country across the Pearl River Delta viewed from Hong Kong has earned itself the nickname Las Vegas of Asia thanks to its giant casinos, malls on the Cotai Strip, and the islands of Taipa and Kolowane. You will be surprised to find this autonomous region among the richest nations in the world. More so, you will be shocked to learn that it's actually the richest among them. Macau may not have plenty of money to throw around like China and the US, so the GDP may not be the highest. Still, with a strong economy propelled by tourism and the international gambling industry, each citizen has access to a huge amount of money. GDP per capita, $58,931. Number 8, Brunei. Officially named the nation of Brunei, the country called the Abode of Peace will be a surprise for many as it's found in the list of the top 10 richest countries in the world. It may not have huge money in the vault of its central bank. The residents of the only sovereign state on the island of Borneo are living on a decently fair income. GDP per capita, $61,816. Number 7, the United States. Measured by another parameter, the United States will top the list of richest countries in the world. Some will actually be surprised that the country takes the 7th position. But in practical terms, there are 6 rich countries wealthier than the US, perhaps weighed down by her large population. The automotive industry, IT, and political structure have the country among the richest countries. GDP per capita, $61,051. Number 6, Norway. Norway is one of the largest oil producers in the world of Western Europe. The fact that the governor of the country's central bank could increase the interest rate without any societal resistance is a clear indication of a waxing economy. The country also has a lower crime rate because the income inequality gaps are the lowest. No wonder Norwegians are among the top richest peoples on Earth. GDP per capita, $64,856. Number 5, Switzerland. Switzerland has long been recognized as a country with a very functional economy that will keep her on the top. The country has since maintained a slot among the top 10 richest countries in the world year in, year out. Principled financial regulation and a strong banking and financial sector have ensured that the country's GDP per capita remains among the biggest. GDP per capita, $68,340. Number 4. Ireland. We go back to Europe and we start the journey inside the United Kingdom. Ireland has strong mechanisms in its economy to withstand the economic uncertainties thrown up by the Brexit situation. It still manages to occupy the 4th position among the richest countries in the world. The country successfully coped with unstable oil prices and other issues. Therefore, the year's GDP reflects that the Irish are doing well in their country. GDP per capita, $89,383. Number 3. Qatar. Countries in the Middle East have a lot to give their individual citizens, enormous in terms of wealth. Thus, finding Qatar on this list is so much expected and deservedly so. Officially known as the State of Qatar, oil is the mainstay of its economy. This can take any nation to the list of the richest countries in the world with prudent management. And that is exactly what it has done to Qatar. The country of about 2 million people has a rich economy courtesy of the oil that accounts for over 60% of its revenue. GDP per capita, $91,897. Number 2. Singapore. We move to Asia to find the country in the number 2 spot on the list of the richest countries in the world. Singapore thus stands as the richest country in Asia based on the GDP per capita. You're bound to lose any debate against that. Being a wealthy nation with an expansive economy, the GDP has kept increasing with PPP since 2017 at a rate of 3.2% per year. The World Bank projected that if Singapore does not change anything significant in its economic drive, the trend will continue until 2024. GDP per capita, $95,603. Number 1. Luxembourg. You may not have been hearing a lot about this small European country in the news as one of the most powerful countries, but it is economically powerful to the extent of occupying the topmost position in the list of the richest countries in the world based on GDP per capita. Luxembourg prides itself in gastronomy and cultural festivals and has been steadily climbing the ladder to become the world's richest country. Considering these statistics based on the 2020 economic year, Luxembourg, with a small population, is one of the wealthiest countries in the world. GDP per capita, $112,875. The top 12 richest countries in the world as discussed here are ranked richest based on the data released by the International Monetary Fund (IMF) for the year of 2020. Users' discretion is recommended when using these figures, as some other sources such as the World Bank may release different figures. Thank you for watching this video, and don't forget to subscribe, comment, and turn on the notification bell.